Hello, Internet Nation. Alex Ashley here, coming live, pre-recorded from under this table. Currently painting it, and I've been watching true crime investigation videos all day. Well, not all day, past few hours, I suppose. And popped an Adderall. Been waiting for this asshat to text me back to discuss his lack of consistency, I suppose. But this relationship, as well as these true crime videos, as well as a few things, have really got me thinking. Because for a while now, I've been openly considering people as significant others. And I have been a combination of taking it serious and not taking it serious. Because, I mean, when you basically know what kind of individual you're attracted to, and a person doesn't physically line up with your desires, then you have to evaluate, one, am I willing to be with this person even though physically we don't mix? Or does this person have a personality that I like? I'm literally having like multiple thoughts right now. But basically this video is about mental health and dating. Because I find, as a female-bodied individual, the experience that have been having, especially now that I have an opinion and share that opinion, I find that the dating world is very abusive on a multitude of different levels. At no point has it gotten physically abusive for me, but y'all, there's just so much gaslighting going on in the dating field. And I guess it doesn't even have to be in the dating field, just in general. I had a conversation that really stuck with me like a month ago or something, maybe even longer than that. And in this conversation, an individual whom I was willing to give a chance romantically and willing to give a chance in a BDSM relationship, he told me a few things, one of which was that there was a group of males who were afraid of me. He said that collectively they believed that I was crazy, annoying, sociopathic, and probably something else. Who fucking knows? Which, you know, as an individual who doesn't hold the same morals as most people, as well as the same viewpoints as most conditioned humans, I oftentimes do consider myself potentially psychopathic, because I've been hurt to the point where I will not give a fuck about you. Like, if you have established to me that my feelings don't matter to you and that you are only interested in me because I am attractive and you would like to own me to a certain degree, whether or not somebody registers it as owning or just being with them, but people can be possessive. I've been in a number of situations in which I have been like considering entering open relationships, and the person would be like in an open relationship but want me all to themselves, which I'm polygamist, so for me to inform you of this, to join your open relationship, and then for you to be like, no, I don't want to share you with anybody, that's possessive, abusive, and backwards. But that's not, that was just one of the factors in that situation. That situation actually did escalate because I had informed the person that I had got tired of them sexualizing me and saying things that I was not comfortable with. And because I suppose because I didn't establish that and then waited for it to get to the boiling point of, okay, I am no longer interested. I'm going to let you know that I'm no longer interested and I'm going to leave the situation. Because if I'm not interested romantically and I understand or realize that you as a person is not somebody that I would even want to be friends with, then I'm going to inform you that I no longer wish to pursue a romantic or platonic friendship with you and that I would like you to leave me alone. You know, just be up forward and straight. Like, I've realized that you're not the individual that I want to be with, and you're not an individual that I want to be around. So, and you oftentimes I give, well, no, all the times I give it a reason as to why, because you have to let people know, like, hey, you're kind of a shitty human being, and I don't want anything to do with that, so I'm going to leave. But guys don't like hearing about themselves. And oftentimes, I'll ask people questions, bring things to their attention, like, hey, did you realize, for an example, the dude who called me crazy said that, oh, I didn't want to like you because I like crazy girls. And I will, like, I'll say this now. The people who know me like to argue that I am not, in fact, crazy. And every time I say that I'm crazy, which, by the way, when I say that I'm crazy, I know that I'm not crazy because I know crazy. I have a deep understanding of psychology, and I understand, like, the way my brain works. So, like, even if I appear bipolar or indecisive, oftentimes it's just a matter of, I want to believe you, I want to have faith in you, but at the same time, the past is the past, and the past often repeats itself. Like, with this dude that I was trying to, like, I thought he was my best friend, and apparently he wasn't. Like, even that got to the point where it's like, okay, I've accepted the fact that we can't actually be friends. I can't take you serious because you don't want to hear anything I have to say in regards to, like, how you're fucking up. And he also doesn't seem to understand how or why I wouldn't be open to just accepting his shit. Because for one, if a person, like, literally every time you see this person has an excuse for, like, why they fucked up, and they can't seem to process. The fact of the matter is not that you have an excuse. The fact of the matter is that, like, it's always something. There's always an excuse. Like, every time I see you, you're explaining to me why you didn't this, or why you couldn't that, or why something. But you never, like, own up to the fact that you fucked up. So you're just fucking up, and then fucking up, and then fucking up, and then at no point are you making anything better. But then when I tell you that you're doing something, or I point out something that you're doing, then you want to tell me, like, what's my problem, when, like, it doesn't matter at that point how somebody's treating you. Like, after you've molested them, after you've ignored them, after you've lied to them, after you've done all this stuff, and they still, like, give you the opportunity to be a better person, like, it doesn't matter if they call you names all the time, or if they tell you to stop being a bitch when you are, in fact, being a little bitch. Like, how can you expect love and compassion from somebody, like, if the energetic connection is there, and they're still trying to work with you despite the fact that they've expressed to you that you keep hurting them deeply, and you keep doing all these things, and then it's like, okay, so I as a person have decided to cut people who make me feel this way out of my life, and yet here you are constantly making me feel things that aren't healthy. Like, honestly, I find that oftentimes, I mean, I don't talk to a lot of females romantically, but the ones that I do don't seem to have these issues of gaslighting or stuff like that. Because you can ask a person, oh, hey, what do I need to work on? And anytime I do, oftentimes they're like, oh, nothing, you're fine. And I'm just like, okay, that's a lie. Like, I know what I need to work on. But, like, there's probably areas in this relationship that I need to work on. So when you telling me I'm fine will make me think I'm fine. Will make me think that I'm not doing anything that is making you feel any type of way or hurting you in any type of way. Because I asked you. Because, one, you're not, like, bringing things to my attention when they happen. And two, I'm asking you directly, what do I need to work on? Am I doing anything wrong? And you tell me no. So then why is it that when you inform somebody, hey, what you did was fucked up, stems from a place of potentially toxic masculinity, stems from a place of pain, hatred, and I understand that this isn't who you are as a person, so let's, like, talk about it. People don't want to talk about it. And the thing that gets me so confused is how, like, so many people, so many dudes have called me crazy. Either because I'm a Scorpio, we're emotional, we're in our feelings, we understand our feelings. I have a deep, like, if I'm coming at you and I'm super upset over something I can't get over, like, that's some shit that's repeating in this relationship. It's one of those things where it's like, this is a really big issue, and if we don't fix this issue, I can't be around you because, for one, if we don't fix this issue, then you're basically showing me that you don't really give a shit about how I feel, because if I'm not happy and I'm not content, why am I here? Like, when you grow up in abusive situations, eventually it breaks you and it just becomes your norm, or you grow and you get out of that. I didn't have any bullet points. I'm just rambling at this point. I just find it so baffling and detrimental to the state of humanity that relationships, that men, that boys have gotten so toxic and controlling, and just how we as a society fight so very hard to keep, like, social norms that don't work anymore. Like, being a fuckboy. Like, if somebody can recognize your fuckboy tendencies, inform you of them, and help you, like, to actually see and process that what you're doing is actually toxic and hurtful to the people around you, and you choose not to change, at that point you're saying that you're content with the person that you are, and this is who you want to be. So then you can't really get upset at that person for leaving you or giving up on you or deciding that you aren't what they want. When, like, who wants to stick around and get abused by somebody who doesn't really do anything for them? Like, I understand that we live in a world where monetary gain is, like, great and everything. But where's the loyalty? Like, previously I was in a situationship with a person that I genuinely liked them. I had feelings for them. But the issue with that was, for one, they weren't somebody that I was physically attracted to. But personality-wise, I felt like they had that. So I opened my heart to them, and I was like, alright, you treat me pretty good, and I like who you are as an individual, so I will open my heart to you, I will let you in, I will give you a chance, I will take this serious. And oftentimes, I find that dudes aren't really capable of accountability, because I find that a lot of them like to, there's a hair, I think it fell off my brush. a lot of times dudes lack accountability. Like, they think that if they throw money at you, then that, like, solves every problem that you guys have. And I've seen it so many times. Like, I've told people, I'm like, what I need from you is for you to understand me, for you to take me seriously, for you to acknowledge my feelings when I express them to you. And don't lie, don't say things that you don't mean. I've had people, like, dudes always want to fight you over things. They always want to fight you so that you believe their lies. Like, this dude kept saying, oh, you're stuck with me now. I'm not going to abandon you. I'm not going to leave you. And yet I was like, I need you to leave me alone right now because I'm upset. And mind you, I think that was like the one time in the entirety of my life where I told somebody, hey, I need you to, like, leave me alone right now because I'm really upset. Like, hey, I'm really suicidal right now and I'm really not in a good mindset. And I'm probably going to say some mean shit to you because you're not helping. Because you never help. And, like, you're just really bad at comforting somebody. So, in that case, I need you to leave me alone. I need space right now because I don't want to hurt your feelings. And you're, like, really pissing me off. To which case, he continued to, like, push and instigate, and I said some mean things, and then suddenly it went from, oh, you're stuck with me, I'm never gonna leave, to, oh, now you're dead to me. And I'm just like, I understand that I can, like, hit really hard, but at the end of the day, niggas is coming to me left and right talking about, oh, you were right, that thing you said, that you were right. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm not just speaking out my ass like most people like to assume that I am. I am, for one, if I tell you about yourself, if I tell you that you're just like everybody else, it's because you're just like everybody else. Not because I'm traumatized and don't want to, like, acknowledge that everybody's their own individual. Like, it used to be like that, but then, you know, you come to understand shit, you meet multiple people, you learn signs, you learn similarities, you learn, like, key aspects of a relationship that kind of, like, tell you who a person is at the core of it. And then you can make a call on the big picture because then you have the big picture. But dudes don't want to hear that they're just like all the other dudes. They all like to believe that they're different, when the fact of the matter is they aren't really different. A lot of people in society are conditioned exactly the same way. That's just how it is. That's how they keep you from gaining individuality, from, like, realizing that you shouldn't be thinking what everybody else is thinking. But, you know, people tend to hurt the same way. They tend to hurt everybody else the same way because we're all dealing with the same loss, the same lack in this world. Therefore, we usually deal with the same problems, just different ways. I mean, I'm pretty sure that people can resonate with what I'm saying, because I know I'm not the only female-bodied being in this world who literally, like, feels insane, not because of, like, having emotions and from the constant gaslighting that females are subjected to. And I know people hate it when I say females. I'm not trying to cause any unnecessary bullshit from some social justice warrior, but you know, that's what we are. Females, males, female-bodied people, male-bodied people. I refer to myself as female, but I do not identify as female. So, like, you know, don't be a dick, dude. Because nobody wants to be a dick. Nobody wants to be soft and squishy. And that's, like, such a misogynistic thing that shows you how our world is set up. Because why is it, like, oh, why is being a pussy a bad thing? Like, they stretch, they can take abuse, they bring life into the world. Nobody wants to be a dick. They're soft and squishy and easy to hurt half the time. And they're obnoxious. But I digress. I feel like my mental health has really taken a toll from the abuse that I get subjected to the point where I had to remove myself from the internet, because literally people don't seem to understand how much it affects a person to be sexually harassed every single day. And it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter, like, if you're in the porn industry, or if you model, if you're a social media influencer, nothing like that. It's just as long as you exist and you're female-bodied, they're going to sexually assault you, be it verbally, emotionally, physically. That's just how the world is currently. Because the energies are very off right now. And they've been like that for a while, which is why we have all these men thinking it's weird and gay to be, like, in tune with your feminine energy. Like, you're not supposed to have feelings if you're a dude, because being a dude means that you're not human, so you just have to exist as a lizard person, and lizards don't have feelings, so you can't have feelings. And the whole thing just goes to, like, propagate and continue a cycle of abuse that we have just gotten so used to in our society. And I feel like my heart goes out to anybody affected by this, because literally I had to get off the internet because it just took such a toll on my mental health. For one, you have all these people in your inbox trying to win your trust. And then once they win your trust, then what? Like, I had feelings for this dude. Those feelings developed, thought I could trust him. We had shared a nice moment. First thing, like we literally live in a world where it's normal for a dude to have sex with you and then just dip. Like, no forewarning, just... And that is a lot of the time, excluding, like, the one dude that I had sex with who visited from out of town. Most of these dudes that I had sex with this year were just like, okay, I nutted, I'm gonna go now. And I'm just like, oh, why? The fuck? Like, can we cuddle for a little bit? Can we talk about what just happened? Some shit, you just gonna nut and dip? Does that not seem abusive to you? Like, and another thing that gets me is how these dudes never process any of that information, but they will, like, literally sleep with you. Maybe, like, 5 minutes after you're like, yeah, I'm trying to be celibate. I'm trying to be abstinent. And they never, like, think, oh, maybe this person really likes me, or maybe they're gonna, like, really be upset at themselves for, like, fucking up their goals. They never think about that. They never think about what sex means to you. All they think about is, like, getting that nut. And then after that, like, all the dudes that I've been... I just flick paint in my eye. All the dudes that I've been intimate with this year, all the dudes that have hurt me deeply, they have all said how I've meant something to them. Just words, just words. I literally told this one dude, I was like, I never need to be left alone. If I do, like, I don't need space. The last thing to do in the situation that you fuck up with me is give me space. Just don't do it. Unless I specifically ask you to give me space. Which is rare. So rare, it's only happened, like, once in my life. Then just don't do it. Like, literally, if you fuck up with me, if I'm mad at you, just be obnoxious. Don't leave me alone. And that's probably gonna, like, do way better than just leaving me alone, like, giving me space. You're just letting me, like, stew on the thought that, oh, this person doesn't care about me because they just hurt me and now they left me, they abandoned me. That's what that does. And it doesn't matter how many times you express that. Like, I could tell the same dude 15,000 times, if you fuck up, then don't leave me alone. I don't need space, so don't give me space, because that's not what I want and that's not what I need. But then they will still tell you, oh, I thought you needed space. In which case, the only response is, if you thought I needed space after me telling you that that's not what I wanted for the 5th time, then you simply just don't care. Because you're not listening, and you have no intention of making it up to me. And they always want to say that they do. Boys always want to say. They always want to say some shit. They always want you to believe them without them doing anything. And I have seen that so many times this year, where a dude will fuck up, and instead of, like, doing something, like making it up to you, like not even like the old cliche things of like getting you flowers or candy or apologizing, dudes will just give you space because they don't want to actually put in the effort for relationships. But here's where it gets interesting. And I know, 20 minutes into it, and this is where it gets interesting. Dudes want you to acknowledge their feelings. Like, I know this is a people thing, so don't make it a sex thing. I don't interact with females like that, but the females that I've been romantic with, well, I wouldn't know, I guess. Not since high school have I interacted with a female. But dudes will want you to acknowledge their feelings without acknowledging your feelings, which is very toxic. Like, I understand that you grew up in an environment in which you never got your feelings validated, so now you want your feelings validated so that you can feel like you matter to a person, but at the same time, this is a two-way street. And if you want your feelings to be validated by a person, you have to validate their feelings. Otherwise, this is an abusive situation, and you're literally just using them for your own pleasure and development. Because relationships should be a two-way street. You tend to my feelings, I tend to your feelings. Everybody's happy because everybody's feelings are getting acknowledged and validated. Whereas in most of these relationships, it's just one-sided. I got into a conversation where I expressed to this dude that I didn't want to be with him because he kept sexualizing me, and I didn't consent to him talking about, like, I didn't consent to his girlfriend touching me. I didn't want to keep hearing about how he wanted to nut in me. I didn't want to go visit him because we had literally started talking yesterday, and he wanted me to come visit him on Friday. On the weekend, he was trying to talk about, like, me moving there. All that stuff. And then I expressed to him that I was no longer interested in being with him. Asked him to leave me alone. He did not leave me alone. He just kept going. So I was like, okay, if you're not going to leave me alone, then why should I care about your feelings? Because, frankly, you didn't care about mine. So I started fucking with him. Literally doing things that I knew would bother him. Because fuck you. If you don't care about me, I don't care about you. If you're not going to leave me alone, fuck your feelings. Fuck how you feel. Fuck your life. Like, I try to be as nice as I can, but if you're not going to be nice to me, why should I be nice to you? He then proceeded to tell me that I was a bad sub because I didn't give a fuck about his feelings. Mind you, I told him that I was a sadomasochist, but he only focused on the masochist part because he can't do anything with the sadist part because he doesn't want a sadist. He wanted somebody to beat up and abuse and, like, so many red flags because he was in a relationship. And he was, like, saying things like, oh, yes, I finally get somebody I can connect with, somebody I can feel loved. And I'm just like, you're in a whole ass relationship, though. So, like, what does she mean to you if you aren't even acknowledging her as somebody who satisfies you relationship-wise? Why is she with you, and why would I want to be with you if you're probably just going to make me feel like I'm not enough either? So anyway, the entire thing is just rather frustrating because it's gotten to the point where I no longer trust males, and I really have been trying not to get to that point because they're kind of trash. Like, people in general can be trash, but like, most of the males I know are really fucking shit. Down to the constant gaslighting because you point out that their behavior is toxic, which it is toxic if you're dehumanizing somebody, sexualizing them, and they point it out, they tell you that they're not comfortable with it, and you keep going, or you get mad at them, or you gaslight them, or if they tell you that they're not interested in you like that, and you gaslight them. Why does it always go back to gaslighting? Why are dudes so obsessed with, like, making you feel small just because you point out their behaviors? They never want to be called out on anything. And it's like, for one, I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm manipulative. I know I'm annoying. Telling me these things is only gaslighting because you haven't seen manipulation from me. I promise you. Like, and even if you did, I'm aware that I'm doing it. I'm doing it on purpose. You can call me out on this shit and I will own up to it because that's just the type of individual I am. And I will let you know from the start, hey, I'm manipulative. If you don't give me what I want and you won't leave me alone and I'm just dead trying to work this shit with you, I will try to bend you to my will because what option is there at that point? Like, you won't cooperate and you won't leave. So now you're just a thing to be bent and manipulated. You're just a toy. And that's where the psychopath comes in. Because, honestly, boys are just toys these days. Literally, not even, like, sexually. Because you can't even get sexual gratification. I've had so many conversations with dudes where they're just like, oh, yeah, I want to go down on you. I want to go down on you so bad. Yes, I just want to, like, make you squirt and come and all this shit. And then you have sex with them, and it's just like, oh. And next thing you know, they're nutting. And I'm just like, so where was all that shit you were talking about eating ass and rocking my world and all this shit? Like, you ain't even, like, whip out a little tongue. You ain't even kiss me, my nigga. Like, so you a fuckboy, you a liar, and you bad at sex. And it's honestly so frustrating. Because they show you their true colors, but then when you acknowledge it, they don't want to own up to it. They don't want to acknowledge it. They just want to, like, try to make you feel small. Because you see what they don't want to acknowledge. And you know, it's okay. You don't have to acknowledge it, but then don't make somebody feel bad because they can see your flaws. Don't try to, like, belittle them. Don't make it about them. Because what does that really accomplish? Nothing. They're not going to listen to you. Like, I tell people all the time, I don't give a fuck about your feelings. If you're going to sit there and try to tell me what I'm doing wrong when I'm telling you what you're doing wrong, then I don't give a fuck what you have to say, because you're informing me that you don't give a fuck what I have to say because you're not listening to what I have to say. Because if you were, then you would realize, oh, this thing that I'm doing is affecting you, this person that I say I care about, this person that I say I love. Like, dudes could go from talking about marrying you to throwing you away because they couldn't control you in a heartbeat. But then they want to call you the crazy, manipulative, abusive one because you had feelings and they couldn't handle feelings. They didn't want you to, like, feel or express yourself, and because you did, they call you crazy, and then they leave. Frankly, I'm done. I'm done. I don't take these dudes serious anymore. Because what is the point? Like, a dude is gonna come to me and be like, oh, I love you, you mean so much to me, and then still turn around and, like, stab you in the back or hurt you or just, like, ignore you. And I don't get that. Like, I've not met a single dude this year who has hurt me and then made it up to me. That's just not a thing that guys do. That's just not, they just aren't decent human beings. So then it raises the question of, is it even possible to find somebody decent? Is it possible to find a good partner, a good friend? Like, the person I've always known is potentially, like, the best person cheated on his girlfriend and didn't even have the audacity to let her know. So then it's like, if he's capable of that, then clearly, like, no dudes out here give a shit. Like, everybody is every man for themselves. They don't want to have these important conversations about relationships. They don't want to, like, have intimacy with their partners. It's just fear everywhere with everything. Which, I mean, I get that fear is, like, powerful and you don't want to, like, ruin everything. You don't want to ruin your normality. But at the same time, why say that you're open to change and you want something to be better, that you want to be better, when you aren't willing to put in the work? Because at that point, you're just a liar, and your actions, like, show that you're a liar, and it's obvious that you're lying, but then you don't want to acknowledge that you're a liar. Instead, you just want to, like, tell somebody else off, make them feel bad for themselves, tell them that they're a liar because they're projecting. People love telling me I'm projecting. I know when I'm projecting. And trust me, me telling you that your comment was sexist, misogynistic, is not projecting. Me going, hey, you do realize that, like I canceled a date with this dude and I was like, I'm not interested in you romantically or on a sexual level because you just aren't a good person. Like, you came into my inbox, asked me if I wanted to make sexual content with you, and then when I said no, you said that you were gonna find somebody else. So I get it. Sex doesn't mean everything to everybody. But if you come up to a person who's constantly saying how sex has to be meaningful to them, and then ask them if they want to have sex, and then go, oh no, it's cool, I'll just find somebody else, that's insulting to them, because sex means something to them, and you just ask them if they wanted to have meaningless sex with you, and then not only that, but then informing them that it didn't matter if it was with them in the first place, because you would just find somebody else to have sex with. And I was like, hey, you do realize how that could be, like, seen as very fucked up, right? Like, I literally mean nothing to you, and you're just using me for sex. That he understood. But that still goes into play when considering a person's character, because this is how you approached me. These are your intentions. You didn't ask for a date first, you asked for sex first. So I then decided to give him a chance, because, you know, boys are stupid. They don't have brains. That's understandable. I understand. Sometimes you're born with a dick, and when you're born with a dick, it means you're not born with a brain. Usually, often cases. It's very, very rare that you can be born with both. Very rare. But doesn't usually happen. So I informed him, yes, I will go out on a date with you. That's fine, that's cool. And then he proceeded to forget that we were supposed to go on a date, day of, but that then asked me if I wanted to, like, do something with him. So I'm just like, you already asked if I wanted to do something with you. We had a whole date planned, and now you're asking me. Okay, so you forgot our date. So I don't mean anything to you. You can have sex with anyone, and you don't even remember that we were supposed to hang out. I have no interest, because, no. Like, you just showed me twice that you don't really care about me, that it doesn't matter if it's me, if it's somebody else, you don't really care. So I'm not interested, because I stay my ass out of abusive situations. Yeah, it's best of my ability, but when they, like, blaringly, obviously at me, I'm gonna stay my ass away from that. But anyway, he then proceeded to tell me that the guys were right. And I'm like, what guys? Right about what? And he was like, oh, well, you're fucking crazy. And he's like, I didn't want to like you because I have a thing for crazy, and I myself am crazy. And I'm like, oh, okay, so because I let you know that what you did was misogynistic, fucked up, and degrades me as a human, that makes me crazy. I see. So because I stand up for myself as a human, when you confuse me for a fleshlight, that makes me crazy. Last time I checked, this was a human body, not a pussy pocket. A pocket pussy. Like, it's got a pussy. It's got a whole fucking vagina. It's even got some boobs and an ass like some sex toys do. But hi, I'm talking to you. My name is Alex. I am a conscious individual. I am a human, not a AI mannequin. The fuck? If you want a relationship with me, you're gonna treat me like a person? We're gonna have a person-in-person relationship? So maybe not gaslight girls. Maybe not call them crazy for pointing out your misogynistic behavior. Maybe don't say you don't want to be a piece of shit and then continue to operate like a piece of shit. And this is the perspective from a non-binary female-bodied individual. So if you have 2 cents to add, feel free to make a video response and we can debate. Because bitches is crazy. Like, there's bitches out there that is legit crazy. There's niggas out there that is legit crazy. I will fucking axe you, nigga. I will throw a motherfucking axe at you. But I will inform you of the circumstances that will qualify you for me throwing an axe at you. I will inform you of any circumstance that will result in me taking actions of violence against you. You will know that what you are doing will piss me the fuck off and will incite violence from me. It will piss me off enough to incite violence from me, and I will inform you because I know my triggers. Does that make me crazy? Makes me calculated. Makes me violent. Makes me aggressive. I have anger issues. My parents have anger issues. Wonder where I got it from. Like, but does that make me crazy? No. No. Literally, any psychiatrist I've ever spoken to, they understand. I mean, either I'm really good at manipulating people and seeming normal, but spent a week in a mental ward. They didn't think anything was wrong with me. And I was only there for that long because I got there on like a fucking Thursday and they don't let people out on the weekends. So I need someone to inform me, like, how that doesn't make these dudes crazy for gaslighting, lying, like blatantly lying, like they're lying to people talking about, oh, I care about you, but then the actions have to line up with the words. You actually don't care about a person. If you're lying to them, if you're abusing them, if you're gaslighting them, if you're trying to make them feel like the problem for pointing out your toxic behavior, it is okay to be a broken individual. The problem is when you decide that that's your norm and that's okay, and you're just gonna stay as a person who's a piece of trash that like hurts other people. That's where the problem comes in. And these dudes are choosing to hurt people because they don't want to do the work. They don't want to not lie. They don't want to be truthful. Like, tell me your intentions and I will fucking dip. Like, you can sit here and you can lie to me. I'm going to see through it. You can sit here and you can tell me the truth. I'm going to leave. Like, you're not going to win in this situation. If you're a crappy ass individual, you're not going to win in this situation because especially when it comes to dealing with a conscious individual. Hi, I'm Alex. I have a consciousness and I use it. Like, I know my body. I know my consciousness. I know my mind. You aren't going to sit here and tell me things that I already know. You're not going to sit here and tell me I'm annoying like I don't know I'm fucking annoying. I fucking cackle loudly at my own jokes. I don't need another person to humor me for me to have a fun time. Like, I don't fucking get bored because, bitch, why? Like, what does it even mean to get bored? And I don't understand how, like, I once heard that intelligent people don't get bored, which I can understand that, because if you have, like, 1,000 thoughts per minute, then what you bored for? What you bored for? Go on a fucking mental journey. Go contemplate quantum mechanics, some shit. Don't just sit there staring at a wall like a person that doesn't know how to occupy themselves. I feel like I've rambled enough, so I'm going to end this here and actually upload this to YouTube, because it's been a while and I've legit recorded shit, rambles, but didn't upload anything. So here we go. Goodbye, Internet Nation. Know that you are loved by me, unconditionally. And if you want to talk, my inbox is open. Just don't come into my inbox and then try to argue me on points. Don't do it. Don't do it. Only talk to me if you actually want to get better, because I will tell you that you don't actually want to get better, and you don't actually want to change, and you don't actually want to be a good person. Whether or not you acknowledge that, that's on you. Whether or not you would admit that, that's on you. I will not sit here having 15,000 people telling me I'm right just to literally ignore everything I fucking say. You think I use these psychic abilities for the shits and giggles? No, I fucking don't. I pay attention to everything. I'm looking at the big picture. You should too. We came to this world to be a part of a team, not to be a fucking asshole and to normalize being an asshole. Are you a fucking god or are you a sheep? Are you a god or are you a demon? You fucking Jehovah or are you Beelzebub? Make your fucking choices. As long as you're making your fucking choices. Don't be one of these people talking about, oh, I know who I am, but I don't actually know who I am. And I'm definitely an individual, and I'm not a sheep, but also I don't know why I feel the way I feel. Because if you don't know why you feel that way, then do you really know you? Are you really a person? Are you really your own person? Or are you just a machine? It was nice having this talk. Questions for you guys to think on. Feel free to leave some comments. Let's have a conversation down in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.